from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Hello there. Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Niketh Karnaratna together with Malsha Dharmavardhana. The minister in charge says adequate quantities of fuel prevail. 100,000 more gas cylinders to the market. A decision to release all essential food items not yet being cleared at the port. The world food and fertilizer prices escalate due to the Ukraine war and sanctions. The price of imported milk powder increases. There is no price increase in local milk powder. COVID-19 related deaths have been reported from China after 1 year. The President of Ukraine says Russia will have to face the consequences if it fails to enter peace talks in the appropriate manner.
On your top story tonight, as we all know, there is a crisis in the country for fuel, but the Minister Gamini Lokuge has assured that there will be no shortage of fuel, and he has assured that there are enough quantities of fuel.
So, in our top story for today, Minister Gamini Lokuge says that adequate quantities of fuel prevail in the island. The Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says that the fuel stocks are being distributed among the relevant centres from the main depot complexes. Minister Gamini Lokuge said that oil distribution in all districts, including Colombo, has been carried out as usual today, like yesterday. The minister said that the final oil ship was anchored in Muturajavela. The fuel from this ship is being transported via 33,000 bouses to Gaul, Matra, Haputale and Badulla. The minister said that another diesel ship is coming to the island tomorrow. The ship will be brought to Kolonnavar and the supplies sent to the other outstation depots. He said there is a problem relating to kerosene, as every filling station is not a dealer of kerosene. He added that there is no shortage of kerosene at the CPC. Sri Lanka's daily requirement is 5,500 metric tons and the daily petrol requirement is 3,300 metric tons. The main wholesale storage terminals release 7,000 to 8,000 metric tons of diesel and 4,200 to 4,500 metric tons of petrol daily. It has also been pointed out that the main reason for any shortage is attributed to certain consumers trying to stockpile fuel. The CPC says the existing rush for fuel may dissipate in the next few days. Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, Sumit Vijay Singha, said that the necessary fuel for the ordinary consumers and fishing community is being dispatched and there is no fuel shortage in filling stations. Sri Lanka is now receiving fuel stocks as planned. Diesel stocks have been received in advance. According to a credit agreement reached with India, Sri Lanka is receiving petrol and diesel stocks. He added that they have been compelled to temporarily suspend oil refinery activities in Sapagaskanda as they have encountered difficulties in procuring required quantities of crude oil. Sri Lanka has entered into a long-term crude oil supply agreement under a 160-day loan program. Therefore, the crude oil problem will be eliminated shortly. Meanwhile, the Litrogas company says that more than 100,000 cylinders of gas are being released to the market on a daily basis with effect from today. 80,000 cylinders were released yesterday. The company says consumers are able to purchase gas cylinders at the stipulated prices. Some consumers have complained that an owner of a gas distributing centre in Atampitiya, Bandaravela, has sold only a portion of the stock after retaining the rest of the stocks. As a result, a disturbance has been created among the customers. Power cuts of 1 hour and 15-minute duration are to be enforced in the zones P, Q, R, S, T, U, V and W from tomorrow. The Public Utility Commission says that in other zones, power discontinuations of 3 hours and 15 minutes will be carried out. In more local stories, A reason for certain shortages in the country is due to the fact that certain stocks have not been cleared from the harbour. The Minister of Trade has made an announcement on this today.
Indeed, Niket. Minister of Trade Bandula Gunawardena says that it has been decided to clear essential commodity items including food imported from India and stranded in the harbour. The minister at a media briefing in Colombo today said that the Ministry of Finance will take measures to release these items after proper verification. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that all measures will be taken to release all Indian imports stranded in the harbour within the coming weeks. He added, as a result, there will not be any shortage of consumer items, including medicine, in next 2 weeks up to the Sinhala and Tamil New Year season. The government is hoping to act in a transparent manner in implementation of the loan program. Among the items imported in India include essential food items, medicines, textiles, cement, animal feed, raw materials used
In more stories, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the government will take measures to fulfill each and every requirement of the general public in a methodical manner, even amidst the corona pandemic and the economic crisis. The Prime Minister has made these remarks on the occasion of the unveiling of the pinnacle of the newly constructed Chaitya at the Sri Bodhiraja Arame Viharaya in Navanvaliya, Kolona. The sacred pinnacle was unveiled amidst the chanting of Pirit by the Mahasangha, headed by Chief Sanghanayaka of Dakshina Lanka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, Venerable Umalpe Sobhita Thera. Thereafter, the Prime Minister has unveiled the commemoration plaque and offered the first floral puja to the Chaitya. Sri Bodhiraja Rama Viharaya, established by the late Venerable Rakwane Jnanissara Thera, has a history of 73 years. Chief incumbent of the Viharaya, Venerable Kumurugamwe Ratnasara Thera, was presented with the honorary Sannaspatra title Sadharma Kirti Shasana Sobana Madhurabhani, presented by All Ceylon Dham Sisila Foundation, in recognition of the religious, Shasana and social service conducted by the Venerable Nayaka Thera. The award was handed over to the Venerable Thera by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Mahasangha and the villagers who have attended the ceremony have requested the Prime Minister to complete reconstruction of the Suryakanda Road in Kolona, the work which currently remains stalled. The Prime Minister has responded spontaneously to the request and instructed Secretary to the Ministry of Highways RWR Premasiri over the phone to complete the repairs without delay. The event was attended by large numbers of the Mahasangha, MPs, ministers and devotees. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that it is a responsibility as a government to extend the maximum relief available to the masses. The entire country has turned into a work site today. He has recalled that in the recent past, the work had been stalled. The government has a good understanding on the problems of the people. A group which has understood the needs of the people are governing the country. The Premier further said that they are engaged in their work methodically. The problems could not be overcome within a day, a month or in an year. He has added that the government needs the cooperation of the people in order to fulfill their problems one by one. Later on, the Prime Minister has arrived at the Kolona Pradeshya Sabha and inquired into the problems of the residents in the area. He has conducted talks, especially with the chairman of the Kolona Pradeshya Sabha, T. Rupasena, and members of the Sabha. The Prime Minister has also watched exhibition of drawings by twin brothers Darshakumar Lianage and Dasun Kumar Lianage at the Pradeshya Sabha premises. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has presided over the 31st commemoration of the Jatika Namal Uyana and the event held in connection with the organizing of the Jatika Namal Uyana International Environmental Institute. At the event held yesterday, creator of the Jatika Namal Uyana, Venerable Vanavasi Rahula Thera, has presented the honorary membership of the Jatika Namal Uyana International Environmental Organization to the Prime Minister and unveiled the new website of the organization. The active membership of the organization was bestowed upon Minister Namal Rajapaksa and the lifetime membership to State Minister Vidura Vikramanayaka and former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. The Prime Minister on this occasion has also extended felicitations to the Venerable Vanavasi Rahula Thera for his national services and immense sacrifices made at the cost of his life to safeguard the Jatika Namal Uyana from massive environmental degradation. Mahanayaka of the Ramanya Mahanikaya, Most Venerable Makulave Vimala Thera, has presented the post of organisers to Mahasangha at the new environmental organisation. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has also extended his best wishes in this connection. The Mahasangha, headed by Chief Sanghanayaka of the Dakshina Lanka of the Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya, Venerable Dr. Umalpe Sobhita Thera, MPs and ministers have graced the occasion. Prime Minister said that the respect of all world people who appreciate environment should be bestowed upon this fulfillment of national responsibility amidst numerous challenges and at the cost of life. The Prime Minister added that he sees the commitments of the Venerable Thera as a fulfillment of a historic responsibility on behalf of the living and unborn populations. He also said that transferring of the National Namal Uyana to the Central Cultural Fund was an exemplary act. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa has also handed over the Sri Sannas Patra declaring historic Nagadeepa Purana Raja Mahavihara as a sacred site today. The Prime Minister, upon arrival at the Nagadeepa Raja Mahavihara today, has inquired into the well-being of the head of the Amarapura Mahasangha Sabha Venerable Gantune Assaji Thera and Venerable Navadagala Padumakitti Tissa Thera of the Nagadeepa Vihara. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that he has attended the ceremony due to their friendly attitude to the Vihara, the region and the people living in the area. He added that the President and the government continue to commit to safeguard the people in the north and to develop the northern province.
Meanwhile, Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage says that it will become possible to obtain a successful harvest in the upcoming season by applying organic fertilizer to cultivations at appropriate times. The minister was addressing a ceremony in Mavatagama. The ceremony was held in connection with offering the first green harvest of paddy cultivation of the years 2021 and 2022 to the sacred Jai Shri Mahabodhi. The paddy was cultivated in Mavatagama Agrarian Services Division using only organic fertilizer under the concept "A Country Without Poison." State Minister D.B. Herath has also attended the event. The minister has also presided over the event of vesting with people the new fertilizer storage established at Agrarian Service Centre in Mavatagama in parallel to this event. Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage said that around 150,000 persons are suffering from kidney diseases in agricultural districts. The minister further said that they have never witnessed in past or even children suffering from diabetes. He added that almost all countries in the world today turning towards green agriculture. As a result, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has taken decision in the last cultivation season to sue organic fertilizer in cultivation.
In further news, the Association of Milk Powder Importers says that a decision has been taken to increase the prices of imported milk powder. It further says that the new prices will be declared tomorrow. The Milko company says that, however, the prices of local milk powder will not be increased. Chairman of the Milko company, Renuka Pereira, said that they will not make an increase in any product of the Milko Institute. He added that they are hoping to issue liquid milk to the market at a level lower than that of the lowest in the competitive market. He added that therefore the consumer public will continue to enjoy maximum relief from the state institutions. And now we'll take a look into an update on the Ukraine crisis. When Russia invaded Ukraine, this has become a matter of much dispute.
Indeed, Niket. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia will have to face consequences if it fails to attend peace talks in appropriate manner. The Ukraine president predicts Russian forces inflicting heavy losses if it does not respond correctly. Meanwhile, Russian forces are continuously engaging in attacks in the Mariupol town. Heavy fighting between the two groups were reported to have taken place in the city center. The fighting have obstructed rescuing civilians get caught in cross-fighting. City authorities say more than 40,000 residents have left the city in the past 5 days. Foreign media has reported that Russian forces have launched a massive missile attack on fleeing Ukraine civilians and also on an aircraft maintenance and repairing center in the city of Lviv in western Ukraine at dawn yesterday. Mayor of Lviv have confirmed that a missile attack has totally destroyed the center. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian Air Force says 6 cruise missiles were launched from the Black Sea to aircraft repairing center. Meanwhile, the Russian Ministry of Defense says Russian army has been successful in destroying an underground armory in western Ukraine. The ministry adds that this was the first occasion of using its largest high-power missile. A Russian missile system is capable of targeting locations more than 2,000 kilometers away. Foreign media says these aerial and missile defense systems are able to far exceed the existing missile networks. Foreign media reports add that destruction of the underground depot has driven the Ukrainian army off its much-needed missiles and ammunition.
And now we'll take an update into how the Russian invasion of Ukraine has affected fertilizer prices. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is adding fuel to already soaring fertilizer prices at a time when planting of major crops critical to global supplies is getting underway around the world. Commodity prices were rising steadily before the invasion as well. According to the FAO Food Price Index, and hit an all-time high in February before the fuel impacts of the invasion could be felt. Prices of cereals and vegetable oils are reaching levels higher than the 2008-2009 global food price crisis. Russia is the world's biggest exporter of fertilizers, but its war with Ukraine has disrupted shipping and driven up prices for natural gas, a key ingredient for fertilizer manufacturing. Western sanctions, including against Russian banks, could further curtail exports by constraining financing. Futures prices for urea fertilizer have jumped 32% since the invasion began on February 24th. While diammonium phosphate or DAP futures are up 13%. Fertilizer prices had already more than doubled over the past 18 months, hitting US farmers as they prepare for the 2020 growing season. Ammonium nitrate and urea, the two main sources of nitrogen fertilizer, are the most used fertilizers in the world. Potash exports from Belarus, a Russian ally, also have been disrupted, and Western sanctions against the country are due to expand in coming weeks. Potash is a key nutrient for major commodity crops like corn and soybeans, along with fruits and vegetables. A prolonged disruption to the global supply of nitrogen and potash nutrients could cut into crop production in many parts of the world for both the 2021-2022 marketing year as well as the 2022-2023, at a time when food prices are already at record highs. In addition, damage to infrastructure and the difficulty of farming during an armed conflict could impair Ukraine's ability to produce and export important agricultural commodities, especially wheat, sunflower and corn. The demining process is currently underway in the island. Now we'll take a look at 11 new K9 members of the army who have been introduced into this service.
Yes. The Sri Lankan army says 11 pups of the foreign descent which has been subjected to breeding by the army humanitarian demining squad will be released for demining and identification of explosives will be released for demining and identification from next month. The puppies are presently undergoing training in Canine Division of the K9 Landmine Division of the Army Field and the Engineering Task Force headquarters in Buoya in Vaunia. It has also been pointed out that the Ronco Advisory Cooperation Institute and the Marshall Legacy Institute of the Government of the United States have donated 32 dogs to the humanitarian demining unit since the year 2004. However, only 10 dogs are alive today. 4 out of these animals have been deployed for duties in identifying landmines, and 3 more out of them has been sent to retirement. 2 more have been reserved for breeding. The remaining dogs were assigned to the Army Bomb Extinguishing Division and later sent to retirement. 5 dogs belonging to the Belgium Melonese type has been subjected to inbreeding with the camp and successfully deployed in service after training. The number of dogs of the category used in identifying landmines is 9. 6 of them are engaged in demining activities in Jaffna Peninsula. Engineering soldier dog handlers are rearing the dogs according to particular set of orders and sign languages. These animals have strong instincts to detect landmines or explosives buried at the depth of 15 centimeters in the earth. After the dog identifies the bomb, a soldier in the engineering division establishes its location through the use of a scanner. The successful dogs are being rewarded with providing rubber balls. A dead dog will be given respect to the death of person through a burial at the dog cemetery in Buoya camp in Vaunia. There have been several dogs who have been subjected to international commendation and awards for their exceptional duties in identifying landmines. In the year 2012, the dog named Kayo had been felicitated as the best dog in demining operations in a competition conducted among dogs in 37 countries. Cairo had died after engaging in services for nearly 5 years. Another award-winning dog was Alvin, who was felicitated in 2016. Another dog was Sira, was given an award in 2017, and Sam, who was felicitated in the year 2019. Sam was later on sent to the US. Normally, a dog is being sent on vacation after performing services for more than 8 years. The retirement process is being carried out according to the recommendation of Sri Lanka Army Veteran Officer. The Canine Division is conducting medical treatment services on behalf of the dogs. There are surgery facilities and hospital accommodations for these heroic dogs.
Moving on to more local stories, we'll now take a look at the status of development in Badulla. Several development projects in Haliala, Badulla were vested with the people today. They are being implemented under the 100 Towns program of the Minor Urban Development Project. The Governor of the Uva Province, AGM Muzammil, and Parliamentarian Dilan Pereira have also attended the program of the Haliala Spring Valley Urban Development. The total cost of the project was 14.4 million rupees. It included the development of 30 street lamps powered by solar energy, reconstruction of a bus stand, a taxi stand and a clock tower. Reconstruction by carpeting of the road from Spring Valley has commenced.
Now, meanwhile, the New Zealand High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, His Excellency Michelle Edward Appleton, featured on Diplomatic Faces program to a discussion related to bilateral cooperation between the countries to foster Sri Lankan economic development. Diplomatic Faces will telecast tomorrow at 10 p.m. on ChannelEye.
And Your Excellency, you spoke of the dairy production. So New Zealand is like the 8th largest country that produces dairy products, and they almost export to 130 countries. So comparatively, Sri Lanka does the same but don't have a large capacity. So how can New Zealand help us develop that?
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand's really committed to helping Sri Lanka build the capacity, the productivity, the efficiency of its dairy sector. We share the Sri Lankan government's desire that much more dairy products are produced in Sri Lanka. And for the past, we signed a dairy cooperation arrangement with the Sri Lankan government in 2013, so I guess 9 years ago now. And we've invested over $1 billion rupees in dairy activities since then. All of that is aimed at trying to increase the milk yield of Sri Lanka. All of our efforts, whether it's our government efforts or it's the efforts of New Zealand dairy companies who operate here and who have invested a lot in Sri Lanka, that's what those efforts are for. And I suppose the last thing I'd say about New Zealand dairy companies is that they now as they operate in Sri Lanka, are turning themselves into essentially Sri Lankan businesses here. Fonterra, our largest dairy company, collects milk from thousands of Sri Lankan farmers every day to sell products in Sri Lankan supermarkets. So many of the anchor products that Sri Lankans are buying are actually Sri Lankan milk, not products brought from New Zealand. And I think that's a sort of model that we can expect to grow.
Here are several more news stories in brief. A three-wheeler travelling along the Gampula-Ambuluava road has suddenly gone out of the road in the Balatgamua and fell into the lawn of a nearby residence. A 13-year-old female child was killed in the incident. 4 injured persons in critical condition were admitted to the Gampula Teaching Hospital. Another three-wheeler fell over a precipice of 50 feet in Randenia on the Vallavaya-Alla main road. There were 7 passengers, including 3 small children, in the three-wheeler at the time of the accident. The injured are undergoing treatment at the Vallavaya and Monaragala hospitals. The Navy has apprehended 2 suspects with a haul of 175 kilos of Kerala cannabis. They were arrested at sea while travelling in a dinghy boat in Oluthuruvai in Mannar. Introduction of 4 varieties of local medicine intended for the international market has taken place yesterday. At the ceremony presided over by State Minister Sisira Jayakodi, a tray of medicine was presented by Dr. Sudath Gunatilaka. Colombo Municipal Councillor Venerable Galagamadam Ransitera and Secretary to the Association of Indigenous Physicians Gunasiri Vijayaratna were also present.
A sustainable solution for the environmental conflict resolution is the proper conservation and management on the environment. The Environmental Conservation and Management Project has already commenced measurements in this connection. Today's program has focused on another facet of the problem. A competition on wildlife photography to evaluate the services rendered by live photographic artists have been organized. It was jointly organized by the Department of Wildlife Conservation and the Environmental Conservation Management Project. 10 competitors have been selected for the final round. A 3-day workshop for the select artists were conducted in Horton Plains recently. The 3 finalists were selected on this occasion. Mohammed Rasik has secured the 3rd position and Vikasitha Manaram the 2nd place. The winner of the tournament was nominee Kaushalya Vijayatunga. The media sponsor was the Vessagiriya program of the national television. We move on for a short commercial break and we'll be right back with foreign news. Do stay with us.
ගෙදර ක්‍රිකට් ෆන් එක ගන්නේ වට වෙලා වීම කොටු දෙන ෆන් එකට සෙට් වෙලා නැගලා යන නම් hot and spicy mix කරන් cheer කරමු අපි වීම කොටු මී අරන් වීම කොටු මී ෆන් තමයි.
Welcome back. And now for foreign news. We'll take a look into the China's status of the coronavirus pandemic, where China reported its first death in over an year.
China's National Health Authority reported 2 COVID-19 deaths and facing its worst outbreak since late 2019, officials have vowed to double down the zero-tolerance strategy to contain the currency surge. China reported 2,157 new COVID-19 cases from the community transmission today, with the majority in Jilin. The province have instituted a travel ban with people needing permission from police to travel across borders.
Many young Vietnamese artists make efforts to introduce the international community to Vietnamese culture via numerous forms of arts. Promoting local cultural identity in tourism products allows a nation to effectively promote its indigenous culture and peoples. With this in mind, in recent years, many young Vietnamese artists have made an effort to introduce the international community to Vietnamese culture via numerous forms of art. This allows them not only to earn money from their innovative products, but also to contribute to the development of Vietnam's cultural and creative industries.
And we move on to Turkey now. The Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan inaugurates the world's longest suspension bridge over the Straits. With the opening, bridge cuts travel time between Asia and Europe in 6 minutes. The bridge was built by a consortium of the Turkish and Southern Korean companies. The inauguration ceremony is held on the occasion of the 107th anniversary of the Gallipoli campaign during the World War I. In his speech, Erdogan said that the bridge is devoted to the memory of the martyrs. Recep Tayyip Erdogan, President of Turkey, further said that the canal had been a pupil of the eye but different cultures and different civilizations during thousands of years, and the city is now opening its army to a new future.
Prima Kotumi, Pantamai.
And now for sports news. The Asia Cup Cricket Tournament 2022 is scheduled to begin in August in Sri Lanka this year.
Chairman of the Council and General Secretary of the Indian Cricket Council, J. Shah, has presided over the meeting. The Asian Cricket Cup tournament is scheduled to be conducted in the island from the 27th of August to the 11th of September. The qualifying matches of the tournament are scheduled to commence from the 20th of August. The tenure of the President and the Board of Executives of the Asian Cricket Council was decided to be extended till the year 2024. Sri Lanka was defeated in a semi-final match of the Asian Federation Cup men's hockey tournament match today. Oman beat Sri Lanka 2-1 in today's encounter. The tournament is being conducted in Jakarta City, Indonesia. The Bangabandhu Cup International Kabaddi Tournament has commenced in Bangladesh this afternoon. The winner's trophy was unveiled with the participation of team leaders last evening. 8 competing nations, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, England, Kenya, Nepal, Iraq, Malaysia and Indonesia, compete in the tournament. Sri Lanka was scheduled to play against Malaysia today and against India tomorrow.
In more sports news, the Avon Super Cup 2022 Basketball Championship Tournament began in Colombo today.
A media briefing to educate on the tournament was held yesterday in Colombo. It was organized by the Colombo District Basketball Association and presided over by its president, Nisanka Senadipati. Presentation of attire and unveiling of the trophy took place today. 10 teams compete in the men's tournament under the category A and B. In the women's tournament, 4 teams are scheduled to compete. All matches are scheduled to be conducted at the Sukatadas Indoor Stadium. The B Group men's tournament is comprised of participating 16 teams under 4 categories A, B, C and D. In the B category women's tournament, 4 teams will compete. Altogether, 72 matches are scheduled to be conducted at the Royal College basketball courts. The Avon Super Cup 2022 tournament B grade matches have commenced at the Royal College Colombo basket courts today. The all-green team beat the Bullets team by the margin of 69 to 39 points. The second match was between the Anand the Kings team and the OABW teams. The final score was 71 to 50 in favor of the Anand the Kings team.
Prima Kotumi, Pantamai.
That's all the news for today. Join us again at the same time tomorrow. Good night.
Good night.